I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your cattle market summary for the week ending December the 15th, brought to you in part by the International Brangus Breeders Association. Brangus Genetics offer breeders consistent profitability with high quality carcass attributes, adaptability, longevity, and more. Build with Brangus to build your bottom line. Consider going Brangus this sale season. For more information or to find a breeder near you, visit GoBrangus.com. Looked like Santa Claus arrived early this year for the cattle feeders but really the whole cattle industry, because Friday's activities just really set things on a positive tone after being down all of the prior week and most of last week too. But you look at the board, live cattle futures on the February contract, Monday was down 57, Tuesday up $1.42, Wednesday down 77, Thursday back up to 77, and Friday finishing strong up $1.87 to end the day, or end the week, at 121.02 on February. That's up $2.72 for the week. Now December spot live cattle contracts were up even more, up $2.62, and just really took a charge on late in the morning on Friday as your cattle feeders start selling cattle and getting out of their short hedges, which really shot that thing up, and then that just lent more positive action and carried on through the northern plains because it started out in the southern plains. But December contracts ending the week at 118.90. Of course, lost all the basis there, but that was just a factor of everybody getting out of their hedges. But that 118.90 was up $3.15 for the week on December. January feeder cattle, Monday started out up 22 cents, Tuesday up $1.65, Wednesday was down $1.45, Thursday up 60 cents, and Friday up $1.50 for January feeder cattle, ending the week at 147.75, up $2.53 for the week. Your March, which we will start talking about now because it's got so much more play, is at 145.50. Now you look at your fat cattle trade. We didn't have anything all week, and your packers started spreading the word that they really didn't need anything. And that goes to show what you can believe. I'm getting to the point where I don't believe anything I hear and only half of what I see. But your packers are spreading the word that they were scheduling for January. Even some really good customers that were just trying to get on the schedule to hang some cattle on the rail. Oh, they said, oh, we're just full up. We don't know when we can get to you. Maybe sometime after the 1st, maybe late that week after New Year's, or the next week sometime. We're just so full, and thought that that word would spread, and your guys that had cattle on the show list this week to sell negotiated would cave. But they never did. They just kept holding strong, wanting at least steady money from last week. And then finally on Friday we saw your packers come in and show that they indeed needed some cattle, if not just for these last couple of holiday weeks here for the year, but to get started on the new year bright and early that Tuesday morning after New Year's Day. But selling fat cattle from 118 to 120.50. That's $1 to $3 higher for the week. You look at your 5 areas, Texas got entirely 120. Of course, they don't sell a lot of cattle in Texas anymore, but 120 is $3 higher straight up in Texas. Kansas was spread from 118 to 120. Nebraska from 118 to 120 and a half. They had a lot of 119 and a half in Nebraska. And your Colorado and western Nebraska areas continue to run at a slight premium. Of course, they lost a little bit of that premium compared to everybody else on this week's trade at 120 and a half. Your dress sales, 188 to 190. That was also $1 to $3 higher. Your slaughter for the week, 630,000, down just 6,000 from the previous week and up 24,000 from the same week a year ago. Box beef cutout values on the average of last week's trade. Choice carcasses ended at 203 even. That was down 387 for the week, compared to the previous week's average trade. And we knew that your boxes that have just, you know, they saw all of that. They realized all of the holiday demand they were going to get, and had nothing to do but start falling off. But they're going down, just not cratering, but just steadily lower every day. And it looks like here maybe before the end of the year we'll hit a point where some of your buyers will come back in and start ordering some more meat to get going for next year. But select boxes 184.71 down 51 cents, and that really closed up that choice select spread at 118.29 on the average of last week's trade. And if you look at the late week sales, that choice select spread was a lot tighter than that. But your cash feeder cattle sales, real-time index on Beef Market Central based on the 800-pound steer late on Friday was at 151.69, up 60 cents compared to the previous day there. And your cash feeders in the auctions for the week sold steady to $5 lower. It was best late in the week. That's where most of your steady come in. We started out quite a bit lower. Middle of the week we were like $3, $4, $5 lower. But your late sales, especially on Friday after the word of all this trade come out, it shored right back up and selling steady and even higher in some of your real late week sales late in the afternoon on Friday. Now your calves selling steady to $5 higher all through the week, and that really makes no sense to me, because if you look at your fat cattle board out front, if you go from April to June, this is on your fats, you get a drop of $7.43. If you go from April all the way to August, which is where some of these lighter calves are going to land, that's over a $10 drop from what our April fat board is. But still, guys, there's just more options, more time. They're still pushing on these calves to background. But you really would have thought that your big heavy feeders would be stronger as far as the market goes, trying to hurry up and get those through the system and get them killed while the market's still up, rather than the calves that we really don't know where we're going to be. But right now, looking at it, it doesn't look like we're going to be anywhere where we are right now. But we've had such a mild winter. Cattle have just, for the last several years, it just seems like, and it just continues, cattle have been performing just out of this world, all gaining 4 or 5 pounds a day, or you're really disappointed. And I was up in North Dakota for a couple of days this week, and they haven't had any winter to speak of up there, maybe a little skiff of snow here and there. I talked to a lot of producers that weren't even supplementally feeding their cows yet. They hadn't even started dipping into their hay stockpiles, and those that did had just barely got started. So that's going to put guys in really good shape. Although a lot of them did talk about up in North Dakota when it got so terrible dry this summer, a lot of them did have to sell some old cows off to try to whittle down their herd a little bit, because they were afraid they're going to run out and they weren't quite ready to sell their calves. Other guys sold their calves at a real light weight, much lighter than what they normally do, and they liked it. They liked the price they got for those calves, and it was nice to give those cows a break and get them off of there and give their grass a break, and they still ended up, bottom line, getting some pretty good money out of those lighter weight calves. But you look at some individual quotes late in the week here, and like I said, it really got good late in the week. But Bloomington Livestock Exchange in Bloomington, Wisconsin sold 74 head of 599, you might as well say 600-pound steers at $1.80 at 3:45 on Friday afternoon. And a big quote out of Lexington, Nebraska. Lexington Livestock Market at 4 o'clock in the afternoon had 92 head, a big string of 830-pound steers bring 166. That's a look at your markets for the past week from Home DV Auction Office here in Canyon, Texas. We'll talk to you next week.